There's actually a lot moving.
Okay.
Remember this one? We were talking about this earlier this year. It was potentially one of the biggest leverage buyouts ever. Now it looks like they're going to have to go it alone. A consortium led by Stripe and the private equity firm Advent International abandoning plans to acquire PayPal. PayPal really taking it on the chin this morning. Earlier this year, you'll remember they had teamed up. They came up with an acquisition offer of $60.50 a share. That would have valued PayPal at more than $53 billion. Founded in, the late 1990s, PayPal, it was an early mover in the digital payments, has since struggled with modernizing the payment technologies. You have Apple and Alphabet seizing a lot of the market share in that space. They ousted the former chief executive officer, Alec Chris, earlier this year. They replaced him with Enrique Lores, who took over the role in March. Now, he has said he's going to set specific financial goals for PayPal, change how the payments company reports earnings, and assign each line of business a specific revenue target to try and give investors a better sense of the potential for PayPal.
I think about whenever I buy something online, the first option is always Apple Pay. The second option is always Google Pay. And then PayPal is like the third. Even though, as you said, it's the pioneer, it was the first mover here.
And thus, you have just underscored the problems facing.
And if somebody doesn't have the Apple Pay option when I'm buying something, it ain't happening. It's just not happening. They're not getting paid.
I thought
and
you
that
use
includes
cash for everything.
I do use cash, and I do.
Oh,
have
here it comes, Scarlett.
I know. I've seen this.
The wad.
Paul believes in cash.
But Apple Pay is just the best, and if somebody doesn't have it, they're just not getting paid. So that's
all right. Marvell posting a moderate beat and raising its guidance, but the shares fell. Investors want more. Investors they're remaining focused on Marvell's partnership with Google. And the big impact of this deal, they said in their earnings report, won't be seen until fiscal year 2029's results and beyond.
That feels like forever from now.
Yeah, that's a lot farther than everybody had hoped for. The company did post revenue of $2.5 billion in the second quarter. That was in line with expectations. We also said they're raising guidance for revenue in 2027 and 2028. Shares have soared, actually, since the start of this year, more than 180%. Let's do Gap, jumping those shares. They named a retail industry veteran to head Old Navy. Old Navy's been kind of struggling. Michael Francis worked 26 years at Target and also 10 years at Walmart. He's going to take over as the CEO of Old Navy on November 2nd. So this appointment follows a 4% sales decline last quarter at Old Navy stores. As for the earnings, Gap did trim the upper range of its outlook for 2026 net sales, also cut the forecast for Old Navy's comp sales. The company raised its full-year outlook for earnings per share. The new guy, Francis, known as a marketing guru for the industry, you'll remember he helped, he was at Target. He helped helm their what we called cheap chic popularity during...
When it was Target.
During the 2000s. The big box retailer at Walmart, when he was there, they rolled out designer collaborations and attracted new shoppers.
Well, speaking of designer collaborations, Gap, the namesake brand, the blue box Gap, they had a collaboration with Hailey Bieber for these new jeans, which were fairly attractively priced. I was kind of looking into it. I didn't actually do anything about it, but it's so interesting that Old Navy has performed poorly in contrast with Gap, the actual brand, and even Banana Republic, which has made a little bit of a comeback. Athleta, which is the athleisure brand, has not done well, kind of in the same way that Lululemon has been struggling. But Old Navy, seeing weakness is kind of a new thing because for so long they relied on that part of the business.
They were solid.